This is the part where I always mess up. I like really thick, obnoxiously full lashes. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a little tutorial on how I got this makeup look right here. This is a makeup look I do almost every single day, probably plus or minus the lipstick depending on whether I'm going out or not. But I just want to show you guys step by step how I get this look. It takes me under 15 minutes for sure to get this look. Hold on, I'll show you. I screenshotted it because I timed myself. Okay, so when I timed myself the other day, it took me 12 minutes and 12 seconds to finish this. So I think that's pretty good. It's a quick little routine that you can incorporate and change based on like what products you have and what you like. If you don't have the same ones that I have, then just go for the basics and like mix and match where you can. So if you would like to see how I get this look, just stick around. All right, guys. Let's get this hair out of the way. Guys, I want you to know that I tried to film this video yesterday, and the most interesting thing and useful thing that happened was that I spilled my entire coffee on myself, which is utterly tragic. So we're gonna do better today. I believe in us. It's gonna be great. Let's do this. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the Bite Beauty lip mask. I have really, really dry skin and really chapped lips, so I need to do this first. Otherwise, my lips will just fall off. I'm gonna prime my face with the Becca First Light Priming Filter. And we're just going to put that all over the face. Now I'm gonna use the Tarte Clean Slate Priming Filter. And we're just gonna take a little bit of that on the finger and kind of press it into the areas where we want some pore filling. I really, really love this stuff. It makes like this area where I put it look flawless. Now I'm going to take my Makeup Forever foundation in the shade R300. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of that on the back of my hand and dot that all over the face. Okay, I'm going to do something that may seem just a little bit weird, but it really works for me. Is I use a really big fluffy powder brush to buff out my foundation. It really makes quick work of smoothing everything out, and I don't have to wet a beauty blender or like spend a longer time with a much smaller brush. So I really like this because of the finish that it gives and how fast you can do your makeup. So we're just going to buff all of this in. And this isn't a super high coverage or full coverage concealer. It's pretty medium. You can build it up, but I enjoy it. Just one layer. I'm a little savage when it comes to blending everything out. My eyebrows are probably like covered in foundation now, but you know, whatever. We'll fix it later. Now I'm gonna go in with the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I like to put this just kind of like in the T-zone sort of, and on my chin, just to put a little more coverage in the areas where I have a little bit of redness or whatever. I'll also do this if I'm like going out later in the day and I want my makeup to last a little bit longer. I notice if I do this, like the nose and the chin area tend not to rub off as much because of the extra foundation. Okay, so next we're going to go in with concealer. And I have the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Light 2.5 Creme Brulee. So fancy. I'm just gonna dot this right under my eyes. I just use a pretty light layer. I mean, I do have vampire circles under my eyes, so I should probably do more, but I don't. Not on a daily basis. I don't have time for that. And I'm just gonna buff this out with a little round fluffy brush. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I have, it's by Crown, the Crown brand, and I'm not sure what brush it is exactly, but it came in BoxyCharm. That was honestly probably my favorite thing from BoxyCharm was the brushes that you got. And now I'm going to set this with the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on my brush and tap it under my eyes. Now, if you really wanna make sure your concealer doesn't crease under the eyes, you can go back in with like a beauty blender or your brush right before you set it and buff out any of those creases. I won't lie to you, I don't do that on a daily basis. I don't feel the need to, but if you do, there's your trick. I didn't make that up, by the way. Someone else did, like 50 other people. Okay, so now that the base of my face is done, I'm going to do my eyes and then my eyebrows. So I'm gonna use the Smashbox 24-Hour Photo Finish Primer. Take just a tiny, tiny bit of that. A little goes a really long way. I'm just gonna put that all over the eyes. While that's setting, I like to go with the Benefit 24-hour brow setter. And I like to put this in my brows before I add any like color to them, because it lays my brows in place. And then I can really see where I need it and where I don't, and I'm not overdoing it on the brows on a daily basis, you know? Okay, so today we're gonna do a really quick and easy eye look. It's something I would do on a daily basis, and honestly, I usually do just a little bit more. But on days that I don't wanna do very much, I will go ahead and use the Dream Street palette, which is a Kathleen Lights and ColourPop collab. I love this palette and the other palette that she has with them, which you'll see in a minute. I take the shades Shooting Star and Moony, and we just mix those together, and I use that to set my eyes. And this just gives your eyes a nice little bit of color with a little tiny bit of like sheen. It's not quite shimmer, there's no glitter in that Moony shade, but it just gives it a really beautiful sheen. Then I'll take a smaller fluffy brush and go back into that Shooting Star shade and go on like the outer V and into the crease. So that way the eye has a little bit of definition, but it's nothing like too crazy, and you're still able to do this look with only, I think I do it with 4 shades, but one shade is, I mean, honestly, 2 shades are actually quite extra, so you could skip them if you want. If you're in a rush, you can always just really stop here with your eye look. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the Zodiac palette, and I'm going to use the shade The Cancer. I'm just gonna take that on my finger and put that on the first third of the lid. I really enjoy having a little bit of glitter, or not, actually I wouldn't even say it's glitter. Again, it's more like that sheen, that really, really pretty sheen on your eyes. It doesn't really look like glitter to me, but I really enjoy it. I like having a little bit of extra on the eyes. We're gonna wipe that off before it gets all over my outfit. Now I'm gonna take a little short stubby brush, go back into Shooting Star, because, well, I probably could have done this more efficiently, but I'm just going to run that right under my lower lash line. Okay, and this next step, which I feel is, I mean, you could skip it if you wanted to. I go into the shade Elfish, which is this really dark brown shade. So you could use any dark brown or black or really any dark color. I could probably even go in with Water Bear, which is this really pretty dark blue. I've actually done that sometimes. But I'm just going to take this on the edge of my brush, and I'm going to make like a faux eyeliner. And I'm gonna tap off any excess and smooth it out so it's not so harsh. And take whatever's left over on my brush and run it underneath the first outer third of my eyes. Okay, so now we're back. I just had to deal with an issue with the SD card and the battery running out of juice, so that was cool. I'll actually link that video I just used to fix my SD card in the description box below, because it was really, really helpful, and it saved me from probably just throwing out my SD card. Anyways, so what I was saying earlier is that I like doing this faux eyeliner with my eyeshadow because it gives a nice soft look and defines the eyes a little bit, but without being so harsh as an eyeliner would make it. We're gonna go back into the Moony shade, and we're just going to highlight the brow bone with that. Okay, now we're for real all done with our eyeshadow. Now we're going to go back into the brows, and I'm going to use the Benefit Brow Contour Pro. So I just use the lighter shade. I'm in the shade Brown Black Light. So I go in with the lighter shade first to do the first part of my brow, and I like to do this really quickly and lightly so that I'm not going like too heavy for an everyday look. And to keep your brows more natural, something you can do is try to do a little bit less, like towards the first part of your brow, like leave that a little less filled in if you want a more natural look. So I just try to go really lightly at the front, and then I press a little bit harder as I go back. And you don't need this particular eyebrow pencil shenanigan to do this look. You just need any kind of pencil that you're comfortable with. I haven't been able to get used to any other kind of brow product except a pencil, so that's what I use personally. And then I go into the deeper shade, and I'll do my arch. Again, not getting too close to the mirror. I don't want to see all the holes that I'm missing in my brows, because again, that would just be, I think, a little too much for the look I'm going for at the moment. So that's all I do with that. And then to add a little bit of oomph to my brows, I'll go in with the Glossier Boy Brow. I just do this because I like to pretend my brows are thicker than they are. They're very, very dark and defined, but like they're just very naturally thin. Like this is me not plucking my brows like almost at all. And this is all we get. So we gotta fake it till we make it, guys. Okay, so now we're just going to finish up the eyes, and I'm gonna grab the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon. I'm assuming it's in the shade black. It does not tell me, but it is very black. I'm just going to tight line with this. And what tight lining is gonna do, it's gonna just add a little bit of extra dimension to your lashes and make it seem as though they're fuller than they actually are. And I've tried it several different ways, and it's really weird to get used to this at first, to tight line without thinking that someone's stabbing you in the eyeball. But I found that the easiest way is to like look at where you're placing it and then close your eyes and run it along your lash line. That way it keeps you from actually like stabbing yourself in the eye. This is the part where I always mess up. Just take a deep breath, be careful, because otherwise if you get like too excited, you end up like shooting it over your eyelid, and that is not cute. And next I'm gonna go in with the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Show Me. It's a nice metallic-y bronze shade, and I'm just gonna put that right on my waterline for a little something extra. So for my mascara, I'm going to use the Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara. And so I'm just going to do this. I like really thick, obnoxiously full lashes. So if you don't like that, this is probably not the mascara for you. I'm gonna go in on the bottom and the top. And I was told one time in JCPenney when I was getting my makeup done for homecoming, as we all do, that putting it on the top and like kind of rolling it helps the lash hold its curl. I don't personally curl my lashes all the time because I have quite long lashes anyways, and they tend to stay up really well on their own. I just skip that step. If you do want to curl your lashes, the Shiseido eye curler is really, really good. But if I was going to curl them, which I do sometimes, that's what I would use. And I just put a little bit on the bottom because I put so much on the top. It would really just look ridiculous if I didn't. So now we're finished up with the eyes and the brows. We're going to finish up the rest of the face. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Contour Palette. There used to be a highlighter until I killed it. And I'm just going to put that and contour my cheeks. And I like to make sure that I go in like a 3 shape on each side of my face so that you don't see like any weird random lines, you know? Because you don't want to just have like one dark spot. And this shade works really well for me because I'm a cooler, well obviously contour shades are usually cooler, but I've noticed that if I don't put this down and then I try and go in with most bronzers, that they end up looking quite muddy on me. So if I'm going to put any kind of bronzer with a really strong pigment, that I need to go in with this first, or otherwise I kind of just look like an Oompa and it's really awkward for everybody. Speaking of bronzers, I'm going to go in with the Park Avenue Princess bronzer. I'm just going to use a little bit of a fluffier brush and just put a very, very light layer, because like I said, with my cooler skin tone, these do tend to look a lot muddier than they would on most people, which is sad, but maybe one day I'll figure this stuff out. For blush, I'm going to use two different products. The first one is the Milani powder brush in the shade Coral Cove. This one is, I feel like, pretty pigmented. So we're just gonna put a little bit on our brush, tap it off. I'm just gonna lightly dust that on my cheeks. And now, since I'm not using highlight, I really like to go over this blush with the Butter Blush in the shade Natural Glow. It's got a nice pretty sheen to it. And I actually like to put this down my face, kind of like a highlighter. Apparently Kendall Jenner does this or something. I don't know. I also really like the smell of it, so I may just be using it to smell it. And finally, for the lips, I'm going to use the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Lip in the shade Bear With Me. I think this lip goes really nicely with this lighter eye color. It's not as nude as it seems in the package. I think it pulls a little more orange on me and a little bit deeper than I expected. You see what I mean? Like, that looks, to me, that doesn't look like the same lipstick. But I really like this lipstick because it does dry down. It's not entirely transfer proof, but it's transfer proof enough that I can go give my baby a kiss and it's not all over his face. But the really great thing is that it doesn't feel like it's just assaulting my lips and dragging every bit of moisture out of it, if you know what I mean. This one actually feels really nice on the skin, especially when I put on Bite Beauty lip mask, which I did before this. They still feel really moisturized and I don't get like cracked and bleeding lips, which is honestly terrible. So to set all of this, I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. I really like this setting spray. It does a really good job holding my makeup in place all day. Oh, also the the spray nozzle. The spray nozzle on this is amazing. Like, it gives you one of the most perfect, like, diffused, wet but not too wet sprays. Do you know what I mean? All right, guys, I think that's it. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can get a little bit of a close-up of what the final look is. This is also part of my You've Still Got It Mama series. If you want to know more about the series and why I'm doing it, then click the link in the description box below to the little intro I filmed. I'm really excited about this series, so please stay tuned for more. If there's anything that you guys would like to see me try out, or any questions or things you're struggling with, please leave it down in the description box below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every Monday and Friday, so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!